everyone. My name is Ross Gray, and this is the Social Skim, sponsored by Cloud Campaign.
And I'm Ryan Bourne.
So this week there are 11 updates to social media that we want to talk about. And to jump right into it, the first one is that Twitter has released a new ad transparency center.
Interesting. So I wonder, it almost seems like, considering this followed Facebook so quickly, it almost seems like the whole Cambridge Analytica scandal might have inspired this for Twitter. Like, what's your thought on that?
It absolutely is. And they even stated that. It's basically in order to address the issues of people kind of wondering what their influence was in the 2016 election. They released a statement that said, similar to search experience on Twitter, to view ads from any advertiser, you will be able to simply search for a specific handle, see the creative for all ad campaigns that have run within the last 7 days from that handle.
Wow. So that literally means that you can look at your competitor, see what ads they're running, and then just essentially mimic those ads if you wanted to?
Yep. They even said that users will be able to view a breadth of ad data, including billing information, ad spend, and demographic targeting options.
Why do users need to see billing data?
I don't understand that either. And actually, the next story is that Facebook is doing something almost identical. Their statement was, today we're making significant steps to bring more transparency to ads and pages on Facebook. Giving people more information about any organization and the ads it's currently running will mean increased accountability for advertisers, helping to prevent abuse on Facebook.
I think at the end of the day, it's a good thing for marketers and for advertisers. Most of us are trying to find better ways to engage audiences and, finding the right people to target. And if you can use that data and learn from your competitors, that's, I think, all better for us.
Yeah, I don't think that was their stated intention, but I think that that's going to be the main use of it. They even said that basically when they're in their description of how to use it, they said that users can view ad creative and copy and can flag something suspicious. But in there, you can see that they can pretty much view all of the creative that your competitor is using.
Well, I know exactly what I'm doing once we finish recording this.
Yeah, exactly. The next story from Facebook is that they're now introducing a snooze button to help you avoid spoilers.
I'm actually surprised it took this long for them to come out with that. There have been like Chrome add-ons for a while that had that exact functionality. I think mixing politics with your social circle is something that a lot of people just don't necessarily want to do. And so I feel like it's smart that they're adding this.
I thought that was the only use of social media at this point.
I think it really varies from person to person, but there certainly are those people that literally just go on social media for politics and for ranting about things. But, I like to keep my feet separate.
That's definitely true. So in their statement about it, they basically said, if you choose to snooze a keyword, you won't see posts from your newsfeed containing that exact word or phrase from any person, page, or group for 30 days. In other words, fewer spoilers.
Yeah, I think it's all good. I think that's the right direction. I think they're really just trying to keep people happy, and that's just another way that people can customize their feed more. Ultimately, the longer that they can keep users on Facebook, on social media, the more advertisers are willing to pay to get in front of those people.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. And the last story here from Facebook is that they have dropped, and I'm probably going to butcher this name, the Aquila drone project. And I was surprised to see this because I just saw it in an ad. So this was the project where they had that drone that was going over, and the whole point of it was to try and bring internet access to billions more people in more of the remote areas of the globe.
Wow. I mean, do they have any more context in terms of like why they stopped that project or not yet?
They didn't really give any context just yet as to why. They did kind of maybe leave the door open to work with some other airlines. They said that I'm just going to read the statement. Going forward, we'll continue to work with partners like Airbus and HAPS connectively generally, and on the other technologies needed to make the system work, like flight control computers and high density barriers. So they did say that they will try and keep the door open, but they have paused it as of now. And I know that they've already put well over $20 million into the project.
Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, hopefully it's something that they do circle back on, and it's more of just kind of putting on hold rather than canceling this whole project entirely.
Yeah. So moving on to LinkedIn, they have now added QR codes to profiles. So basically, if you're at a convention or you're meeting somebody, instead of handing a business card now, you just pull up the LinkedIn app, they can scan the QR code, and you can connect that way.
That makes sense. It does seem like LinkedIn is the black sheep. It seems like everything's a little bit out of context that they're adding like features that they're focusing on in terms of the other social platforms, but I do see how this could be useful.
No, they're definitely, yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. And they're also pretty behind. I mean, the next story here is that they're adding translation tools. So similar to literally every other platform right now, if if you see a message pop up, now there's going to be a little box that lets you translate it into whatever your native tongue is, which literally has existed on every other platform for months or years.
Years, yeah. I mean, I know Facebook used that in the very, very early days. It's like a growth hack to make the feed more accessible to other parts of the world. And so, yeah, it definitely seems like LinkedIn is just a bit slow to get around to these types of things.
Yeah. So the next one is a Pinterest article, and this is not a platform which I really use, but they are adding one-click saving. I don't really know what this means. As I said, I'm not an active user of it, but basically what they're saying is that instead of, I guess previously where you had to save articles or pins into different categories, now you can just click once and save it to your desktop.
Okay. So does it seem like that's more for your personal? Like my understanding of Pinterest was you could pin something to a public board for others to see, but maybe this is like an easy way to kind of just save it for later for yourself.
It definitely seems save for later functionality. I don't know as far as saving it for other people to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So moving on to Instagram, because I don't know anything about Pinterest, they have added group calling, which is something I'm actually pretty excited about.
That does seem interesting. So I heard about this before, before you cover the story. And the interesting part to me is the fact that you can actually scroll through the Instagram feed while doing a video chat with 3 other friends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, I know that they seem to, I remember once Snapchat basically said that they're not going to take their offer. It seems like now all of a sudden they're trying to come out with a lot of the same functionality that Snapchat has. I know that, they instituted the stories not long after that whole thing happened.
Yeah, and like just last week, you're reporting on IGTV as well. So, which was kind of like a stab towards YouTube. So, it is interesting to see how many different directions Instagram's going. They're definitely staying busy with their product development. But I wonder if they're just trying to be, an all-in-one solution for marketers or for social media consumers.
Yeah. So I lied. We do have one more Facebook story. And that is that there was a bug which temporarily unblocked over 800,000 users. So if you had blocked someone previously for a small period of time between May 29th until June 5th, that user may have been unblocked for your content.
It seems like such a small thing. I feel like no one can be too angry about it. Like I always wonder, why are you blocking someone from seeing your content? Like certainly when I was in college, I was definitely guilty of it. Sorry, mom. Sorry, dad. I definitely blocked my family from seeing some of my content. But I would imagine not too many people are that upset about it.
You never know if it's like a jilted ex or something, though.
It could be. That's a good point.
They did say, though, that it's not like they automatically added them as a friend. So if you already had a private profile, it really wouldn't have mattered.
Okay. Well, interesting. Good to know.
Yeah. So our last article for today is the Google rebrand. So they are basically, at this point, it seems like just a name change, but they're rebranding a lot of their other categories into 3 main ones. So for instance, AdWords is now going to be rebranded as Google Ads, and they even acknowledge that this is literally a name change.
What do you think the big push was? Like, do you think it's indicative of something that's to come in the future? Like, do you think this is kind of just phase 1?
So they gave a very vague statement. This is literally the statement of, I can't pronounce his name, but it's Sridhar Ramaswamy, which I'm sure I butchered, and he's the vice president who leads Google's ad efforts. And this was the statement. This is primarily a name change, but it is indicative of where we have been directing the product and points to where we want the product to go. And I did not read that very well, but that's what he said.
That makes sense. I know Google over the years they've obviously acquired a handful of different companies, and through those acquisitions, they have sort of disjointed products that they've kind of brought on through various dashboards. So I feel like this will probably be a push towards making it one cohesive unit and, making it a true Google product.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And the other two were basically an amalgamation of DoubleClick Digital Marketing and Google Analytics 360. And I guess they're also including new integration centers where users will have the ability to view the functionality of all their Google tools in one platform. So this really seems like a push for marketers to be able to view all of the functions they have available to them.
Cool. I mean, yeah, for marketers, it sounds like it's a great thing.
Yeah. And the last one is Google Ad Manager, and it will be a combination of Google's monetization tools for publishers, i.e. DoubleClick Ad Exchange and DoubleClick for publishers. Really, this seems like they're just getting rid of DoubleClick and changing the name into other things.
So yeah, pretty similar to the previous story, just kind of bringing it all under one roof and making it easier for marketers.
Yep. And so again, this was sponsored by Cloud Campaign. You can check out the Social Skim every week at www.cloudcampaign.io/social skim.